You are watching
Do
Xirtus.
you think that there are entities alive, autonomous on non-corporeal bands of vibrational spectrum? What do
What
you
do you
think?
mean? What do you mean by that?
Do they exist, just not in physical form? Like, we can't experience an interaction with them in the physical, but are they right
Well,
here?
couldn't it, Doug? Couldn't it be like the Predator, where you're like clicking through your visions, and the heat vision is one that maybe we don't have that would help us see whatever could be in front of us?
I think you just hit a really great point, because you have to keep in mind every night when we sleep, we have a DMT experience. So maybe there were times in human history where we weren't bogged down with EMF or whatever is keeping us unhealthy these days. And things like fairies and all these other mythical creatures from folklore were a part of the DMT experience that we would have during the day. And since we've been so poisoned or beaten down, or like the way a pig is not its fully developed version of what it could be, it's supposed to become a hog, but it's domesticated, right? We're like these domesticated humans to some extent. And maybe when we have this flood of DMT, we like see too much, like we're seeing the energy bodies of these beings that are like keeping things, as far as energy goes, as far as the biome goes, as far as the natural forces go. These are the beings that we would call sliffs. And what are the ones for the water?
Sylphs,
Nymphs and,
undines, nymphs, yes.
right, the elementals.
Dude, Adam Krigler was in the backstage for a second,
Very
but
cool.
he popped out because I didn't see him there while I was so obsessed with Sega Genesis. So if you come back, you're welcome back in. I'm sorry.
Adam was there. Nice. What's up, Adam?
So, Adam.
So, Doug, are you saying you believe in DMT elves, and what are they if you do? Like, explain it to someone who's like, "You're insane, Doug. You've lost your mind." Break it down. What do you think they are? Because a lot of people have noticed them, right? They all do DMT. Like, oh, there's fucking entities. What's that about?
Well, I have to preface by saying I've never done DMT, so I can't speak specifically on the DMT elves.
Technically,
I've read a lot
head,
about it.
It's in your head, though.
What is your head?
Well, he's never smoked
what
it
is
in a
your mind?
pipe, is what he's. I guess that's
But
right.
what I will say is that I've had enough experiences that I am now having to deal with a pretty heavy load of evidence that says, yeah, there are influences all around us. And it is not as if it is unnatural. It's just that, I'll leave it at that. That's what I'll leave it at. That it's going on. It's going on all the time. It's been going on.
Are there DMT elves like on Earth? What is that shit?
Earth is a simple physical plane. I think that if the DMT elves exist, they exist on a vibratory level of existence that doesn't need to sit on a physical planet. So I think they're here all of the time, unable to influence to any significant degree until we open up ourselves by, forgive all the new age words, resonating with a vibration that is more in, sympathetic union with where they're at by doing DMT. That's
how do you know they're not? How do we know they're not malicious entities?
We don't. I'm not saying that they are.
Andreas, how do you know they're not trying to fuck us over? Right?
I'm pretty sure a lot of them might be. I don't think everything comes down to good or evil. It could come down to selfishness and short-sightedness.
Yes.
But it is.
What were those themes again, Andreas? Selfishness and
short-sightedness. Yeah. I mean, if you think about hell,
what a wonderful topic for the day. What did you say?
I was watching Sandman comics.
How is that?
I'm the guy that's going to tell you it's great for the reasons that it is. There's some problems, obviously, that they ruined, and I think George covered them pretty well. Like the idea of John Constantine being removed is a bummer. That they have Joan Constantine is like, I hope there was a reason they had to do that or something with the. But it was. I really wish they didn't do that. And then the other problem was Lucifer, not just because they have an already Netflixed Lucifer they could have used, and I wonder if there was another, again, contract issue that they couldn't do that, because it would have been great to expand the universe, but instead they didn't do the WB Vertigo universe right. Other than that, why it's awesome, because I think I said it before, and Call agreed, we've seen lesbians in prison perform Hamlet, and it was great, right? And so the words are saved. And so a big part of it is that they saved the actual story. And is it woke? Well, it was woke in 1980. So it's not as woke as it was then. But at the time, it was woke enough that it's woke. It's the right kind of woke. Because I've been kind of tired of the pendulum swinging the other direction as well. I think there should be there's room for whatever it means to be in a progressive world, and they point out amazing things.
Absolutely,
I would say, to Andreas's point, a great example of where this could be fixed is Batgirl, dude. Because Barbara Gordon is fucking awesome, and I think every Batman fan knows Barbara Gordon is awesome. So if Warner Brothers had been like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a Nightwing, Batgirl TV team project, and sometimes Batman will come in from the movies and guest star on the TV show. Maybe we can get the TV actors sometimes like as a cameo on the movies with Batman. Dude, you would have made so much fucking money. It would be insane. But instead, you know, we got what they did, which is
we are here. Yeah.
But don't you agree, Doug? Like that would have been very popular. Very popular.
Wonderful. Boy, what an experience, and enjoying that blending of bringing the Batman universe into this more current iteration of what Bloodhaven and wherever we would go with Barbara Gordon. I mean, that would be, well, so much you could explore.
Yeah, I wish they did more with the Vertigo comics properly. But at the end of the day, the thing I was bringing up about the Lucifer aspect of the second and third episode, where he gets to get his helmet out of hell, is you realize, and I remembered it maybe more from the comic book, is that people in hell are there because of their own short-sightedness, and they didn't realize in the long term that it would have been better for them. And this is an old theme. You look at Dante's Inferno, you've got people that are chained up and they can't reach the plates in front of them. But they're chained long enough, if they thought to, they could reach behind and feed the people behind them, and they would go in a circle. So, I mean, we're talking about these same kinds of concepts, and I think that a number of these Slavic and Aryan, Indian style myths about demons, Japanese stories about demons, they're ghosts of people, but they're not of the people.
What they called Yuri? They're called Yuri, right?
Right, but there's also daimons, and there's a number of different. There's a fox spirit thing that's also connected to this idea.
There's a werecat. There's legitimately a cat version of a werewolf leopard. It's fucking scary.
Which is way worse. I think that's
way more predatory.
An episode of my podcast come out where we talk to Peter Jenks, who lives in Thailand, and he has a whole section of one of his books about ghost altars and how, not just altars, but they'll consecrate amulets with people's ghosts, and the buildings in certain cities, they'll have like a tower in the center of the city, and they'll either, in ancient times, they would kill someone and their ghost would be the guardian of that monument forever, and now modern times they just dedicate it to someone who's passed away, but the idea is that person's ghost is guarding that area.
That's cool. I like that. I think that's awesome.
It's way better than mine. Mine's Croatian women and Serbian women. In the movie Cat People attest to this myth that there are witches that when they have sex, they turn into a cat or to a giant leopard, and they cannot turn back into a pretty girl or a woman at all again until they kill somebody. And it's a pretty weird. I don't know where the story could have come from, unless it's kind of got something to it.